Welcome back to Wedlocked and Loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.
You women.
Do not lump us all in one category.
So you girls, and lie and stretch the truth and try
girls,
to get us jammed up.
First of all, I'm a whole ass woman, right? Think about
no
that.
No disrespect.
Sounds like it to me. So why can't y'all? What is it with men that they just can't walk away?
Depends how good it is. You don't want to give that away. Greetings, everyone. New episode of Wedlocked and Loaded. I am Daniel Laurent.
And I am Leah Nicole.
A lot of things happening, and we are going to try not to catch everything, all the confetti in the air, but we'll maybe speak about just a couple of things on the docket. But first, as we always do, we want to do a check-in just to see where things are. Because even though we live with each other and occupy the same space, oftentimes Leah doesn't talk to me. So this is the only guaranteed time that I have to do check-ins.
Not you and your woe is me lies.
Not woe is me, it just is what it is. So,
they lies.
So how are you, my dear?
I'm exhausted, but that's nothing new. That's all I got. I'm exhausted.
Exhausted?
I'm exhausted.
Like emotionally?
Literally
physically?
all of the things. Physically, emotionally, mentally. Just, I'm drained. I'm drained.
Not sexually?
No, you haven't drained me there.
Jeez. Oh, yeah. Jeez Louise, Leah. There's a couple of other replies you could have given. And that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, you also could not have interjected that, right?
I guess.
Yeah, see how that works?
So.
But I'm grateful, you know? I'm trying to be anyway.
Grateful for what? For life?
For life.
Being able to feel your toes and your fingers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something to be grateful for.
Oh, listen, trust me, I understand. And my year is not to make it seem as though I am taking it lightly. You know, I'm feeling all the things a lot more than I normally would. So yeah, that's what that year is.
I don't have a long check-in, but I'm not exhausted. I don't know if I have.
Good for you.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying for real, good for you.
I don't know if I have I won't call it luxury. I don't know if I have the space to be exhausted. And I think, fortunately for me, as you yawn, Jesus. I think for me, luckily, I love sleep, and I've never had a problem with sleeping. And so, you know, because there's some people that have insomnia and some people who just cannot sleep and they can't turn their mind off.
Yeah.
And I'm appreciative even more now so that I'm able to do that. So, although, you know, like today I could have definitely stood staying in the bed. The weather alone is just like, it's just that weather you just want to hear the rain, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it is what it is, man. Every day is a new adventure, and it's a new opportunity to get some things done. So, and you know, every day is another day checked off that hopefully you're getting stronger, you know. As long as you don't regress and like be a slob and you're like getting up and walking and applying yourself.
Yeah, well, today that went out the window. But
well, you know, you want to, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I tell you to sit down and be quiet.
So first of all,
fight me, and
so first of all,
it's that Beyonce bullshit.
So first of all, the sit down and be quiet is wild.
No,
okay.
I said sit down and be quiet. I didn't say sit down and shut the fuck up. I just said sit down and be quiet. Respectfully, I say that because I know that you are gonna pay for it the next day.
It doesn't matter whether I sit down and be quiet or I talk. Doesn't matter.
Nah, it matters.
No, it doesn't matter.
You
Anytime.
want to mix it up. You know what I'm
Dan,
saying?
don't do that. Like I really dislike when you do that.
What?
I really dislike when you do that. Let's move on.
When I say you mix it up?
Let's move on.
Why? I'm asking you. I'm asking you. What do you hate? Tell me what you hate.
Let's move on.
All right. Asking for money and being told no. We talked about that. I think yesterday, and it was it was what were we talking
What did we
about?
say? What prompted that? Um,
Um,
dang, that's I'm not even gonna sit up here
damn,
and
we
trying
both
to act like I
we both
I would
never.
be able to
I'm trying to
remember.
think. Wait, so
Like,
it was.
but I feel like we were
Oh,
watching something or we were listening
no,
to
you was
something.
talking about. You were talking about a story where you was asked for.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was talking. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I was talking about yeah, how my grandmother like she was redoing her house and she had called me and was like you know she chuckled a little bit and she's like just calling first how are you. I'm like I'm good. We already just spoke like 20 minutes before that, but she's like I just want to know. I just want to get this bedroom set and this living room set, and I don't want to have to choose between the two. So can I borrow $3,000? And I'm like, what? Like, ma'am, I don't have $3,000 to give you. You know. So she laughed a little bit more. And she's just like, oh, figured I'd ask. And so and my I don't have $3,000 to give you wasn't because I was thinking that months later, she would not be here to pay me back. Like, definitely didn't foresee that coming. But, it was more so like I legit just I didn't have to give, like, period. Because she too also taught me, like, you lend money. If you lend out money, you have to be prepared to not receive it back. You know what I'm saying? That's literally the only time you should be lending money to anybody.
Mhm.
And so I didn't have it to not receive back. But and so that's how we got started on that topic. And so your take was
I think just to ask that and with the possibility of it of the person saying no, I just feel like I don't have that thing to be able to ask people, for something with the possibility of being told no. Because if I'm asking you, I really need it. And I'm
mhm
not just asking kind of going down the list. And there's some
mhm
people that
mhm
do that. Like they'll have like, I'm gonna ask these three people or five people, right? And you literally are checking off a list. And so if I call one of the three or four people that, I believe that will help me, it will really like do a number if they tell me no. But then you go down this whole rabbit hole
Excuse
of
me.
like, well, that's an entitlement thing, and who are you to think that a person has it to loan to you, and they have their own stuff going on. So it's all these things, and I would rather just not participate and not ask.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because there are people who will just call and ask, and they'll almost have a barrier up where they know you're going to say no, but they're asking anyway. And it's just
Well, I
interesting to
don't think
me.
that there is I chuckled a little bit earlier because then yeah, I just remembered, she was like, well, if you don't got the whole thing, just let me get half. you know. But anyway,
Because then she'll ask the next person to get the other piece.
no, absolutely. Or, you know what I'm saying? The way my grandmother rocked, like, no BS, she probably only needed $1,500 to begin.
Well, yeah, I mean,
She only probably needed $1,500 to begin with. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
let's see.
That
Here
was
I
a
am asking
that
for
was a
exact
great
amounts
memory.
if I'm
That was a
gonna.
great memory thing. But anyway, so you know, I I definitely don't like to ask people for anything. And, you know, one can say, because I don't want to be told no, right? You have some people that ask for things constantly, 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 and they have no qualms about asking anyone for any and everything, right? Um, I feel like, you know, part of being an only child, you know, to hear the word no is a little tough. You know what I mean? But then it had me feeling like, it's definitely, you know, just listening to your rationale or whatever and thinking about, you know, how I personally feel in regards to that, you know, asking people for anything, right? Um, you know, I just feel like it's part of, you know, for me it's like my, you know, like it feels like an only child syndrome, but then it's also, you know, it's a little bit of a sense of entitlement, right? um you know, like, oh, why, like, how could you tell me no? Like, clearly I'm asking because I need it, you know.
Hmm.
But, you know, it's okay. It's okay to ask for help. I think, you know, I think I'm learning in real time that it's okay to ask for the things that you need, right? Um, because if you don't ask for those things and somebody is able to assist you in any way, they won't be able to assist you because they don't even know that you need the assistance, you know?
I guess. I mean,
And so you know that there's one or two there's, you know, there's one of two answers. You know, it's going to be either a yes or a no. And so I think that you can brace yourself for that no, you know, and it may not feel good. You know what I'm saying? It may not feel good at all, but you asked. And here's the other thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just thinking back, you know what I'm saying? Like, Nana asked me for $3,000, right? And so, you know, maybe I only had 10,000 and my money was coming in funny. And I just didn't have that to lose, you know, because I didn't know when my next piece of money was coming in and I had things that I needed to take care of, right? Like, it can very well be that situation for people when they say no, you know, but because we believe, you know what I'm saying, based off of our personal perception of the people that that they have it to lend and to I or give, right? You know, maybe they don't, but maybe you put a bug in their ear and then they come across an opportunity that, you know, can help you get that, right? So a closed mouth don't get fed, you know.
well,
Again, I'm learning that in real time.
well, I feel it's always interesting when it comes to asking, and I do get your, it is true. If you don't ask, you just don't know. Someone can literally have the perfect thing for you, or they can have, whatever it is. I think it's always a different thing if you're asking for a connection or a means to get it yourself versus flat out asking for the thing. Like, hey,
Mm.
can you give me, hey, can you give me, or hey, can you loan me $100 towards, getting a new TV because my TV broke, right? Versus, hey, I'm gonna fill out this grant and I know that you have a sound system is it possible if we kind of collaborate because this is an opportunity for both of us?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a different kind of conversation. Or can you connect? Somebody that works at Charles Schwab. I applied for a job. Can you put in can you let the person know
For me, you know what I mean? Like for me, an ask is an ask, and it puts me out of my
across
way
the board?
across the board.
See,
For
yeah,
me, across the board, it just like
it
it
puts you
doesn't
out of your way to send an intro
it
text to somebody.
it puts me out of my way, and not in the sense of, and by out of my way, I mean out of my comfort zone.
Why?
You know,
That's
yeah, I'm gonna tell you why. It's part of the no, right? But if I really, really dig deep and think about it, it's definitely like, yeah, just it makes you vulnerable. It makes me vulnerable. And I don't like to
wait.
show my
Are
vulnerability.
you talking about you asking?
Yes.
Oh, I'm talking about somebody ask you. That's what I'm on that
Oh, I didn't
page.
hear you switch it.
Yeah, if somebody asks you for something,
If somebody asks me for something, I mean, if I can do
and
it, I
that's why I
do
said
it.
across the board, and you said yeah, and I said so. If
Oh
somebody
yeah,
asks
no,
you to
no,
make a
no.
connection for them, that's
I'm sorry, a little different right now.
you know. All
But
right.
anyway, that's my take on it in the opposite of what were asking. But if someone asks me for something and I have the ability to do it, the means to do it, I most of the time I don't feel I don't second guess. I just do.
Hmm. Well, there was something that you said, and maybe you just said it just now. But there was something that made me flag to talk about this today, and I think you said it, but when you said it, I'm like, what?
What I said.
I don't. It was. I think you said. You said it differently just now, but I think you said the same thing. So
Hmm.
we don't need to rehash it. But the way you said it last night, I'm like, what? Like if you don't, if a person has and you don't know, and the
Yeah, you don't.
reasoning that they give you.
Right, for you, it doesn't the no is no, you don't care about the reason, and for now I'm saying, like, but the reason, the reason behind the no is important,
Oh, and I said it's not.
and you said it's not.
Yeah, because you want what you want.
Doesn't
If you need
matter.
$100 to pay your light bill before it gets cut off at 5, it doesn't matter that you need your 100 to pay for your best friend's funeral. It literally does not matter. I need $100. So whether you're taking that money and you're going to get your ears pierced or you're going to pay for a funeral, I don't care. I need $100. And
And
so that's
that's
what
the entitlement.
that's I
That's
don't
the
I
that's
don't
the
know.
egotistical
I don't think that's
entitlement.
an entitlement.
No, no, it is because you don't care because you want your needs met. You feel like your needs are above any and everybody
I
else's
think
in
that's
that
anyone
moment.
though.
Not real. No.
If you need a ride to work, Leah, you need a ride to work. It doesn't matter that your car is in a shop or that you have to drive your nana to the doctor.
So
I need a ride to work. So
right.
it's either
And
yes or
so
no, and your no, it doesn't matter.
I'm unavailable to take you because I already have plans. I'm sorry. And so for me,
Fuck you're
again,
sorry.
yeah, see, again, right? Like I would try to like offer a solution. You know what I'm
You pay
saying?
for me an Uber.
Right. Or you can pay for an Uber yourself. Like a ride, like, bitch, take the fucking bus.
Why you
Like,
gotta jeez.
because sorry, it's like don't do that. I'm short fused
I
right
know,
now.
Leah. Jeez. All right. So moving along to short fuse. So Jess Hilarious went on her Instagram, aired out some things, which I kind of feel like might have been genuine feelings, but I think it might have been part of a rollout because they announced Lauren LaRosa's show today on Black Effect and the whole blah blah blah. Right. So I don't know, but so
Interesting.
anyway, she aired out her grievances and then went to work the next day
Absolutely. Like a fucking
and
boss.
or an employee.
She's
So
she's the boss of her body, right?
I mean,
right?
if that's what
And
if
so here's the
I mean
thing.
that's like bare
Breakfast,
bones,
it's
Leah.
really not, right? So the Breakfast Club is paying her. Like she's getting, you know what I'm saying? She's under
She's
contract
paying.
and
They're paying an employee.
she's under contract and she is being paid. Like that is her job,
Yeah,
right? However, if she loses that particular job, like she has enough of a name for herself that she will be okay.
sure. That's not.
So,
That's not. That's not in question. But I
so
think doing that. Um. Well, first, I guess, do you agree with doing that? Do you agree with her going online and
So
airing her
I'll say
grievance?
this. I don't care for nobody to be in my business. I mean, right? But um I think I would say I would yeah. Anyway, I would say that I personally probably would not have taken it there. However, if I am saying stuff to my coworkers and they are, just brushing shit underneath the fucking rug, and I feel like I'm not being heard, then y'all motherfuckers gonna hear me now. So I don't see a problem with her doing it.
Interesting.
Some people can be like, oh, it's unprofessional and blah blah blah. But call it what you want. At the end of the day, unfortunately, these are the times that we are in, right? Everything else about that situation is public. So let's bring it to the public.
I mean, it's a choice, and
I'm not mad at it.
however it plays out going forward will just be what it is.
And it is what it
So
is.
what I
And
said
you
to
have
you,
to be okay with that.
yeah,
Period.
and
Right?
that's
And so
and that's the deciding factor. If she's gonna be okay with
and
how
I
that plays out,
believe that she was okay with how she did what she did.
I don't know. I think that was emotion and desperation and feeling like you didn't have any options, and I'm
I
gonna do
I
this.
believe that,
Because you could
definitely
very
there was a
easily
lot of
send a group text and say, "What the fuck are y'all doing? How come y'all don't have my back?" And this,
right.
that, and the
But here's the
third.
thing. If I said it to you 7 fucking times in your face, what am I going to text you for?
Well,
About it. And who's to say there wasn't, right? Because clearly there was some type of text exchange if Charlemagne told her to tell the people to shut up as opposed to be quiet.
hmm, I think going online and doing that is I don't know. It's I'm not mad at it, I guess. But I guess when so I do think I think the communication comes from the Breakfast Club and how they handled it and communicating exactly what plans were ultimately. And it just is very interesting that if this is a true thing and we're taking this at face value, it's just very, very interesting that a person goes on maternity with one plan, comes back, there's another plan, and there's no mention of it, and the people are left to figure it out. But I will say, back to what we spoke about a couple of times before, I feel like when she came back, her energy and quickness and wit just wasn't the same. And and it's like a parent. It's not even a matter of like,
She's a new mom, right? And so that takes some adjusting to get used to. Of course, you're not going to see it that way because for you, professionalism is
it's not
professionalism,
it's
right?
not seeing it that way, Leah. But I
Right, but
mean,
I'm just saying, right?
like
So
we either
I
grade
don't
on that or not.
I don't
And she's not like she has a child before. Each child is different,
her
right?
son is like 10 or 11 years old. So
But she
like
is
she doesn't
not
have a
like this
newborn
isn't her
baby.
first go round. Not
Man,
that it makes a difference.
yo, I'm not going to do this with you.
Leah,
Yo, every pregnancy and every delivery is very different. Every child is different.
sure.
So we are not comparing her first go round when she was young, 10 years or 12 years younger, to being 30 something years old and having a child. Shit. My experience from 17, 23, and 27, all three were very different. I couldn't imagine having a child in my 30s.
Okay, so this leads into um ideal times in which to get
Ain't none. It's a bullshit ass fucking myth that y'all.
It's not
Wait,
Leah, what's a myth? What's the definition of a
y'all
myth?
listen. Let's not call it a myth, but
Okay,
what
good.
I will say is that y'all men really have this thing where you feel like you know what is best for a woman, and you don't. You don't have a pussy. You don't have ovaries. You don't carry a child. You don't. Your body does not go through all the things that a woman's body goes through. So for you to put your opinion out on when and where a woman should freaking give birth is crazy.
I think that
Or have it come, get pregnant is crazy.
that response, I mean, I don't know.
It's
Unless I
real.
just want to create content, I don't even feel a need to like. I don't think that reply is even. That
It.
reply is not. That reply, I don't feel like goes with the question that I
What
asked.
did you say? If there's a right time.
I think that question that
That's the
reply
question,
is
yes?
for the overturning of Roe v. Wade
It's
and
really
people
not. It's
saying,
really not.
yes, it is.
No, I'm going to tell you why it's not. I'm going to
Leah,
tell you
there
why
are
it's not.
women who
I'm
have
going to
made
tell
that
you.
choice and they may
Can I
regret
tell
it
you
now and
why?
some may
Can I
not
tell you
have.
why it's not?
I'm gonna stop before you even
I'm
because
not going to let you put your stamp on that and we're going to move on. That's
you
crazy.
you said you men.
Men. Because men are
And
the
what I
main
am
ones that are
saying is
doing it.
that women themselves have made that choice that it wasn't the right time.
Why? Because society said
Leah,
so. Right? They're not listening to their
we live in
stop.
society, right?
The people that made those choices, the women that have made those choices, didn't have a sufficient partner
Maybe,
and could not afford uh uh IVF, right?
maybe.
But the reality is that society is telling you and that doesn't mean just the world, right? That can come from the people that you have grew up with, your parents, your aunts, your uncles, whomever, right? You must do this and this and this and this and this first before you have a child.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's thinking about how long this and this and this and this may take, right? And again, now I get into this position, I can't afford to take time off because I might come back and not have a job because I have a child, or the child has some type of born with some type of disability and nobody took account for that, right? And that means that I have to take more time off to tend to my child, right? As a woman, society created the timeline. And by society, because we as women were not looked to be in the workforce to begin with. Our role, the role that was placed on us, was to be home, barefoot and pregnant, taking care of children and men, not out changing the fucking world in the workforce. Now we may move on.
I don't want to.
Yeah, we're going.
No, that's not fair. You get your shit off.
I just rebutted you. That's it. Now we
I didn't
done.
even fully rebut you,
That's
Leah. I
okay.
said that
You
there are
said
some
what you
women,
said, and
and
I
then
said what I said,
you
and now we
replied
can
with a whole
go.
diatribe of society. But we live in society,
Men,
correct?
yes, but the
You
society.
can't drink a gallon of fucking vodka and get in the car and drive because society
Why
says.
not? You can do it.
I mean, if that's the type of world you live in, Leah.
The law is saying it's not safe to do.
Yeah, and we live in society with laws.
Great.
So put the
And
put
so the
so
law
put the
is not
law
the
so put
law has nothing to
so
do
put
with a
the
woman birthing
so
a
so
child.
laws were put in place to hold that woman's said position.
No, laws was put in place to hold women back and down. Period. Now let's move
That
on.
too, Leah. But come on, like
Come
again,
on, let's go
we are going. Like, knock
to
it off.
something else.
You're
I want to get knocked
look
off.
at
Come on.
your energy. Put that shit. Put that when you're
I don't have
put that
it, so
into
I want to go.
protesting in legislature. But it's not applicable in this discussion.
Of course it is.
It is not.
I can be
Leah,
upset or I can feel away and I can discuss and I can say how I feel whether
Leah,
you want to hear it or not.
sure you can, but like it's either.
So we can move on.
I just don't even think it's a rational thing that you're saying, yo.
Oh, that's
And it
fine. It
turns
doesn't
into
have to be
like
rational. You
men
don't you
versus women.
because that's what it is.
She was vying for a job.
She secured the job.
She secured the job.
It was no secret that she was pregnant.
And then
it was no secret that she was pregnant.
It wasn't my knowledge as she was going.
And it
through
ain't
the
none
process.
of your business.
No.
Right? And so the point is the people that needed to know.
And when she comes back, what I championed and commented, I actually commented. When I commented and liked and all that type of shit.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And so when she came back, it's not the same product that I voted for. So I'm like, wait. Now, it's different if she comes from home and she is on the radio and she's an exhausted mom. But she's fucking touring and doing nightclubs.
Before she was touring.
And if you were going to take a maternity leave, then take a maternity leave.
Before she, first of all, let me tell you one thing.
All
okay?
Right, Leah.
Because what's not gonna happen? What's not gonna happen is for anyone to dictate how I take my time off.
A maternity leave is a maternity leave.
Yes, and guess what? I am with my child, right? I can
not
be
on a nightclub
I
stage.
can be I can be touring.
Leah.
Listen, what I do after hours is what I do after hours, and it ain't none of nobody's business. See? I can be touring, my baby can be with me, and when it's time for me to hit the stage, it's okay for me to be outside for 2 fucking hours or 3 hours. It's okay. I'm still with my child.
And then when you have to get up at 5 a.m. for a fucking morning show, you sound like shit.
And you are attributing that to her being on stage. When
sure it is.
Because you were there?
Because you
were there?
No. I'm gonna
were you there? Because she could have went 3 nights ago. She could have had a show on a Saturday and didn't have to be at the Breakfast Club until fucking Monday.
You wanna know why? Because I wanted to prepare, not for this conversation, but for this point of view. I actually looked at her fucking tour dates. So I seen when she was at a nightclub the night before and went into the Breakfast Club the next morning. So what I'm saying to you is,
and it just so happened,
I am saying to you as a new mom,
and it just so happens,
may not get sleep anyway. It's just like if we go tonight
and we are laying conveniently in the next day she Leah, was fucking up.
If we're watching TV,
can I ask you?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And
because when I heard her on the radio, I'm like, damn, she sounds crazy. And I looked at her fucking Instagram page, and the night before, she was doing what she was doing, which is fine.
So what it was a live recording. I'm asking you because when I post, I don't post the exact stuff.
Yeah, you ain't a fucking performer. Leah.
You don't know what I am.
Oh my god, you can't be. This can't be a real conversation. I'm in the fucking Matrix.
You want the blue pill or the red one?
Neither. From you.
Okay, so we can go. Let's move on.
Leah, no.
I want to like you.
You're annoying me.
I want to like you.
So you're telling me my eyes are lying.
I want to like you and I want you to like me, so let's move on.
Fucking wench. All right. So I don't even want to talk about that. So AJ Johnson was on the Breakfast Club.
Yeah. Lucky girl. Lucky woman. Good for her. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right. So we'll play the clip here and then we will discuss.
Question. Would you ever do a story about polygamy? But being the woman who has the
Who
guys,
dabbles in it?
Yeah.
Oh, you dabble?
Yeah.
How is that?
Amazing.
Oh.
Amazing. Let me say this since we're bringing it up.
Mm-hmm.
My space in it, honestly, is because since I've been exposed to different cultures, and different religious and spirit practices around the world, my thing is I haven't found a lot of men in America who are really appealing to me spiritually, physically, emotionally, mentally. So my thing is I've got the athlete that I hang out with, I've got the spirit that I pray with, I've got the person that's adventurous that I travel with. So it's more lifestyle than it is the sexual connection for me. It's more like I'm not in a relationship, so I have more than one man I spend time with.
So whatever you don't get over here, you can get here.
Yeah.
Or here.
Now my soul is actually monogamous.
All right. So you said she's a lucky woman.
Yeah, I think every lady needs
It's
to.
very interesting to me.
No, but what's your take on it?
What's
I'll
yours,
listen.
man?
I'll listen.
I think it makes sense. I think that for our society that you speak about as if it's not a real thing, and it's not a there's not social constructs and kind of common practices. I think that type of stuff is not looked at favorably. I think there's
because a woman is doing it, right?
no. I think Neo is being more salacious about it, and so I don't put those two in the same category at all.
It's not real.
I put her in the category of it's actually a lifestyle, and this works for her.
Absolutely.
And it's more companionship than it is sexual. She very well may not have sex with all of her boyfriends. Who knows? But I think the idea is that they're all getting together and having trains. And I don't believe that that's the case at all. Now, is she above that? Who knows? But, it's interesting. And whenever I hear a woman say it, I actually appreciate it even more because it's assumed that men just typically feel that way.
Yeah, what's crazy is that when I think back, like, I mean, I wasn't sexing everybody, but I definitely lived that lifestyle. I had somebody that, like, that, like, was a financial, like, was my donor. Well, we'll call him that, right?
Sperm donor?
No, baby, no. He was the one that would, break me off the most with money. Okay, not dick, but money. Nice. There was someone that I, clearly like just enjoy spending time with, but like we would do things, whether it was go to the movies, go to the arcade, like, there was one that had the car. He would take me from point A to point B, no questions asked, just always available. Damn, man, I used to live the life now that I think about it. No problems were had. But, again, they
didn't all know about each other.
No. They didn't know about each other.
Exactly.
They didn't know about each other.
So you're a liar.
No, definitely wasn't.
The difference is
definitely not a liar.
You are a liar.
They didn't know. There was no need for them to know about each other. There was no need for them to know about each other.
That's why you would not make a good polyamorous.
Oh, I would make a great one because now in my fucking 40 phase, so it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is a real difference. Now, what I will say is, since I've reached my fucking 40 phase, life is different on this side, right? Like, have your opinion of me. I don't give a fuck. If I feel a way, or if I feel like I want to do something that you may not approve of, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it, and I'm going to enjoy the fuck out of it, right? And you can be entitled to your opinion. You got to blow that out.
Leah.
I can't.
What can't you do?
It's flickering and it's bothering me.
So close your goddamn eyes, but I want to smell it.
Okay, so smell it. But you know, I'll say I think, to go in, to be a part of that lifestyle, I feel like it's something that you have to go in um exactly in that lifestyle, right? Like I think that it would be, well, some people could do it. For me, actually I don't know. I'm not gonna say that. But to be fair, I feel like you have to go into that lifestyle. You can't just, I don't know. I feel like being in a relationship for 5 years and everybody, we've agreed to be monogamous, and now all of a sudden we're just gonna open the doors, right? Like that could be a little bit tough, right? Because somebody's going to feel a little blindsided, like, yo, wait, where'd that come from? You know what I mean? Um, However, I do, I can understand it, right? But I don't think that, it's not a like it's not a, I don't feel like in that space that you are actually, and y'all can come for me if you want, you can correct me if you feel like I am wrong, right? And I don't live that lifestyle. However, I don't feel like you can equally love and be in love with all of your partners, right? Like it's a different kind of love. Could be lust more than anything.
You don't think you love more than one?
No, 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 not truly love. No, you can love things about the person.
Interesting. We're gonna table this for flirty swingers. I want to see what they say.
Yeah, but they're fucking. I'm sorry. They're with people, but they're not in a relationship with those people. They're just having a good time. They're out having a good time.
No, but they are choosing to not do that. But I don't know if they have actually done relationships, or if
we can talk about it with those people, right? We can talk about it. We can see if there might be somebody that is, you know what I'm saying, in a polyamorous relationship that we know of, right? But my thought and my feelings are the same, and I can explain to you why. And maybe listening to them, I'll have a different take. But
love is love.
All love is not created equal, right?
No.
Like, here's the thing. Yeah, we can table it. I can't.
Yeah,
we can table it.
I'm not talking to you about this nonsense.
Okay.
All right. So this is So shout out to Ben Carew. He sent something, and I'm trying to find it.
No, thank you.
What? What'd you say?
No, thank you.
No, thank you to what?
Whatever that was that you was about to do.
Leah, shut up and leave me alone.
We have to normalize the fact that we will be attracted to people other than our partner. Mm-hmm. No one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about, it's just my partner. That's it. I'm not looking at anyone else, right?
Are you attracted to other people?
Oh my, Stephen, come on, man. Are you? But absolutely. So Jill and myself, we had to start around this topic of attraction because I had a very hard time just thinking about my wife being attracted to someone else. I couldn't fathom it, the jealousy, the anxiety, the anxiousness. I have an anxious attachment style. So it was just fear, right? And there are many different things that you can do, but I'll give two. One is that you just have to normalize that these behaviors are a part of our human experience. We'll all have physical attraction. Some of us will have sexual attraction. Some of us will have emotional attraction to people who are not our partners. If anyone denies it, they are lying, okay? This is one. We have to normalize this. We normalize it, then we begin having conversations around it. When I think about, do you have strong satisfaction in your relationship? The questions that always come to mind is, do you feel safe with your partner? Do you feel safe? Do you feel like you can express your true vulnerability to them? Right? That's one. Secondly is, do you feel respected? Another one are you optimistic about where the relationship is going, which suggests how much effort and work your partner is placing in the relationship. So many of us are hopeless about the future is because we know our partner's not doing anything to further the relationship. Do we not have enough time? I would say this becomes our cop-out. Like, we're so busy with life. Think about this. I'm so busy with life that I can't give the person that I plan to spend the rest of my life with time, right? We have to prioritize our relationship with our partner. We have to prioritize this. We have to figure out when we can build in time to talk. And we have to actually talk about the real things. Most men don't even realize that their partner doesn't even orgasm when they have sex. But you know why she probably doesn't tell him? Because she doesn't want to hurt his feelings. So she feels like if she brings it up now, it's going to be detrimental to the relationship.
All right. So that was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You agree?
Yeah, to an extent, right? I feel like,
What do you disagree with?
well, not much actually.
Good for you.
Not much. Not much. I think that
Good for you.
this is what I will say. I think that, there was a time that I was like so in love with you, right? That like I legit did not see anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
That sounds so sad.
I just didn't see anybody. So like nobody else made me like do a double take, you know what I'm saying? Nobody else made me just turn my head slightly. Like it just wasn't, it just wasn't a thing, right? Like I was in la la land and oblivious to all the things that were not of, that did not include danger around me. When I stopped liking you so much, um, things changed. Like my eyes got open. And I would say like the first time I noticed somebody, I was like, holy shoot, that's just crazy. And it tripped me out. And I feel like I came home and told you. I remember that shit like it was like, yes, he was a bus driver. I was in South Bay. Yeah, I don't know what bus number. I think it was probably like the number 8 or something. Getting on a number 8, and I was like, holy heck. But then I started to question myself, like, wait, why? Like, how? Right? But it took me a little while to realize, like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some issues here between you and I, right? And it's still love and we're still good, but when you are in a relationship, you don't necessarily feel heard and or seen. And I think again, like that's just with anybody, to bring it back to Jess and the Breakfast Club, right? Like you then start seeing things or becoming aware that you are now being seen from outside the outside world. But I've always said to you, like, I can think that somebody is attractive, but because I think they're attractive, it doesn't mean that I want to have sex with them or that I am sexually attracted to them. Right? Like there's nothing wrong with but seeing somebody and like, oh wow, they're gorgeous, I feel like that emotional attraction, that's also real. And I think, I've also experienced that, but I think for me with that, I think it was more so it was more so where it felt like I've done like we knew each other from a past life. Right? It wasn't like, it was like a sense of, even though complete stranger, it was a sense of familiarity, which then too had me like, yo, this is crazy. Like how do I, or even right, like how do we both feel like um I, I'm trying to figure out how do we both feel like how does this feel so familiar, but we've never crossed paths before. And I think a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, even like that attractiveness, a lot of times, like, it could be one sided, but like for it to be both sided, fuck a sexual, fuck a physical, the emotional to be both sided, like, yo, it's just like it's like magnetic,
Hmm.
you know? Um, but I think for that one, that's the one that trips me out. That's the one that trips me out the most. And I think that even when um I don't know, I think some people have naturally like that magnetism where, like, they can easily draw people in, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um and so, but I feel like, but even with that, like, I feel like that's one level of it. And normally when that person has like that magnetism, they're easily able to draw people in. That's just like their charisma, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like, this is just totally different than just that basic charisma. And that, like, somebody's like a storyteller, they could just draw you in from their storytelling, and you just want to hear more. You just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just very different.
Like Dr. Umar.
Man, fuck that.
um,
Anyway, but anyway, like, what do you feel about that?
I agree. I mean, I feel like I've said that before. I just didn't articulate it in that way. I've certainly said it to other guys. I've said it to other guys in front of their wives or girlfriends. I just, I don't. I think that I hear you saying that there was a time when you didn't see anyone,
Mm-hmm.
and I believe that. I think that is a very rare thing that can happen, and I think that can happen more with women than with men
Mm-hmm.
as a whole. I think women do have the ability to really like
Lock in.
close off the world and just be like tunnel vision for their guy,
Yeah.
or partner, whatever, right? But I think you seeing someone, but I still feel you seeing someone, I think the tunnel vision of you seeing someone and being sexually attracted to them, I think that switch can be off longer than men. I think men will see someone and be physically attracted to, and physically attracted and sexually attracted are two different things.
Absolutely.
But I think you could be physically attracted to someone and you don't take it any further and don't go any further in your brain and just say, damn, like, okay, right? And then you move on. My
Mm-hmm.
issue has always been with people who demonize that. And it's like, I have eyes. No. Like any person that you think, whether from Iman to Vanessa Williams, Nia Long, Sade, Ashanti, whomever a person would like to pick as their person that they think is attractive,
Mm-hmm.
you're seeing that person.
Mm-hmm.
So is it because they're unattainable and not within reach that it's okay to express that you think they're attractive versus the person that you see drive by you and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So that's always bothered me across the board. And so, the way it was said, I 100% agree with.
Yeah.
And I think, I agree with him as far as feeling safe, and I agree with the time. Thinking about like, I don't have time, but this is a person that you are, supposedly spending the rest of your life with. So, I mean, I think it was well said. I have no complaints at all. I think the way it's framed in the beginning, because I didn't listen to all of it. I only listened to a piece when Ben had sent it, but he actually like tagged us and was like, "Wedlock and loaded." So I'm like, yeah, we'll discuss it.
I mean, yeah, I think,
But it sounded as if he was talking about, you're going to be attracted to people. It's an inevitable thing. It's an honest thing. And I thought he was like getting into his polygamy bag. That's what
that's what you thought.
It
that's what you
definitely
thought it was
sounded
going.
like. It sounded like a Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith conversation about like, this is my life partner and this is da da da. Speaking of which, well, I don't know. Well, yeah. Did you see the video? There's a video circulating of Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Johnson's.
Dwayne Johnson?
Dwayne Martin, sorry. Damn, just married her to somebody else. Dwayne Martin's wedding. Did you see that video circulating around?
No.
It's crazy, yo.
No.
I'll show you. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, there's definitely ways in which, you know what I mean, like you go on about it, right? Like for me, you know what I'm saying, like if you are, or if you are out or we are out or whatever, and you see somebody that, you know what I'm saying, that you feel like is, pretty like strikingly beautiful or whatever, right?
I can bring him home. No, I thought you was going to say that, but that's not what I want to do.
Like I don't care if you're like, oh wow, like she's beautiful, you know what I'm saying, and I'll look and I'll agree or disagree, right? But if we're now getting in the fucking bed and you're like, yo, that girl, that woman was so gorgeous, yo, I can't. No, we're not gonna drag it on. Like
no, but what? Okay, hold on. So stop.
We're not gonna drag it on.
No, stop there. Just give me 1 second. So what if?
We're not dragging it on.
Listen, Leah.
Hurry up, because I'm done.
What if I didn't say it earlier, and now we're laying in the bed, and I'm like, holy shit, that girl was unbelievable.
So that's where you fuck up at.
Oh man. So I have to say it in the moment.
So you have to say it in the moment so that I can like if we're together and you don't say it in the moment, that's wild. You're whack. You're whack. And you're not gonna be praising God for her fucking beauty. Like no. What you can say.
What if I say holy Sam? Like
no.
I could praise Sam. Who's Sam?
Sam
you
is
don't care.
Listen. No.
Like, if I be like, yo, she has luscious lips, yo. Because I think it's different to say it in the moment versus saying that.
So the thing is that so when you put those adjectives on it, right? Like when you're adding, like it makes it something different.
Versus just saying, look at her lips.
Versus saying, oh wow, she has nice lips, but you're saying luscious,
like dick sucking lips.
Okay, so
which are different than.
So as your wife, I don't want to hear you saying talking about somebody else's dick sucking lips.
But that was always funny, Leah. It's not sexual. It's like
very sexual. Leah, what are we? Is dick sucking not sexual? Like what are we talking about?
Come on. Like you're saying it in a crazy way, and people are hearing that. I'm saying
what?
Like, I don't listen. Don't scream it. I'm saying like Adele Givens back in the days, like,
and it's derogatory.
Well, I mean,
like,
to say
you know what I'm saying? No, you don't say that. Period. Like you're grown. You're not a child anymore. You are a whole grown ass man, right?
Yeah, and but there's still certain things you say.
So you probably should get that out your vocabulary.
You wear a wife beater. Like I don't say it out loud.
Come on. No,
grow
up.
I have wife beaters.
Grow up.
I'm grown there, but there's just.
But so things. Act like it. So you can say she has nice full lips.
Yeah.
I can look. No. See, you fucking little baby.
Leah, it is a thing, yo. And bullshit, because I've heard you say.
What did you hear me say?
That like either a dude had either pussy sucking
I
lips,
said,
or he had a fat tongue or something.
I said, I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
fat tongues.
I
So,
feel no. It was one of the two.
and
It
a
was
fat
you. It was
tongue.
you and a girl cackling about it. I heard it. I swear, and I'm not being funny.
You're making stuff
I
up. You be
swear, Leah,
making
believe.
stuff
Oh my
up
God, yo.
so bad,
I
yo.
swear on Samantha. That's
So you just praising Sam, and now you're gonna commit Samantha to hell. Is crazy.
Leah, I'm telling you the truth. You said something about.
Sure.
All right. I'm making that up. That you've never looked at a dude's mouth and said, "Oh man, like he could." No.
Damn.
All right. That's fine, Leah. Whatever you say.
To you and or around you is wild.
I mean, not to me, Leah. You was cackling with some girl,
and you
yo.
was right next to me.
You don't know that I heard.
I'm asking you.
I was in the vicinity. Say you were in the kitchen.
Okay. So unless I was just being funny, whatever.
So you think that's funny? You think
So
something like that's funny to say to your husband?
So for my husband to hear, because I know he's eavesdropping, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, why not? Now I would say this. Yeah, I felt safe enough to say it.
Yeah.
Right, but you know, I'm not in a space to look at people as sexual objects.
Oh.
I will say
that's so wholesome.
Yeah, because that's just who I am, you know.
Like back in the days, like Shabba Ranks, like the girl said that he was sexy. Even though he was ugly, he was sexy.
Yeah. So
or like people say 50 Cent.
Yeah, there's some people that I cannot consider. You're right, because it's just my taste, right? So
like Patra. Patra was sexy to me.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I think what makes people, what people find sexy is very different, right? Like for me,
You're a brainiac. Dude, yowza.
It's
you like that type of stuff. You like cockroach, huh?
Listen,
Steve Urkel, Stefan.
So for me, if you like the things that I find sexy, I like a man that fucking, is a father that takes care of his child. No.
Don't do the.
I'm not pandering. I need you to hear me out. Like a man that takes care of his child or his children, yo, that's so fucking sexy to me.
You don't see that,
but it doesn't make But you can listen. You know a real man when you know a real man.
How many real men you know?
I know a few.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How?
I'm passing.
Yeah, I bet.
Like that's sexy to me. But again, that doesn't make me want to have sex with them.
Yeah.
It just like it makes me feel good inside. It's a whole different story, right?
You like a man in uniform?
No, I don't really trust men in uniforms.
Damn.
Someone that that's that like an intellect that can like talk a good talk and not no bullshit.
Dr.
You know what I'm saying? Nah. It was never him for me. No, ever.
No.
Never ever.
All right.
It was never ever him for me. Like I'm not talking about, the fluff and the bullshit. Like he's a very intelligent man, right? I won't take that from him because he is degreed up. However, not my cup of tea.
Yeah. You like Dr. Cornel West, that type.
I guess I like someone that can draw me in a conversation, and teach me something
and titillate you,
right?
You like to be titillated,
but I like to have that exchange. Absolutely, yeah. Like that is so sexy to me.
I know your type.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. All right. Look, man.
Yeah.
Look.
But I think what's more sexy is being surprised by it. Like, oh shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, go ahead.
All right.
And if he's a good looker, then that's a whole nother story. It's like, oh wow. I'll play here for a second and then I'll move on.
I'll play here See,
Meaning,
no,
so
no,
no. I
no.
want to be very clear.
No, Leah. I
Meaning,
think you said what you said.
yeah. Meaning, I did, and I said what I said. But let me clear that up so that you can understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, like, I will entertain this conversation for a second to get my jollies off, right? And then I'm gonna move on. And by jollies, like, I don't mean no, you know what I mean? Like, I'm over here
Playing with yourself.
wetting the seat of my pants. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not.
That's fun too.
But it feels good to my mind.
He's mentally sexualizing.
But it's not even it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Now, I've definitely been.
He's killing you softly.
I tell you, I've definitely been in conversation with somebody like, oh shit, I can't even hear this motherfucker right now, right? But for the most part, it's not like that. It's for the most part, it's just like, oh wow, like that was that. Like, I really enjoyed that conversation. You know, just like that. That's it.
Yeah, that's why I'm keeping you close.
You don't have to worry.
Nobody.
I don't really talk to people anyway.
Turn your phone off too.
I don't talk to people anyway,
all right,
so you don't gotta worry
ladies
about
and
that.
germs, we're gonna wrap this up because I got some reevaluations to do with Leah because she said a mouthful on this episode, and I just need to just kind of go through a little checklist and make sure everything's kosher.
Yeah, make sure you're doing all the things.
Yeah, so
stimulate my mind so you can stimulate my body.
Nice.
Oh yes, Daddy.
So, all right, guys, we will see you next week, God willing, and all that good stuff. And yeah. So, closing thoughts. I will say
get stimulated. No, just kidding.
I will say
no, but not really.
Let me see. Let me do this real quick. Be strategic before you have your babies. And then make sure that you plan that out and make sure that it makes sense and all's well in the world and wedlocked and loaded. You know what it is. Yeah.
No, wedlocked and loaded is not agreeing with that bullshit. Not the way you just said it. And absolutely not coming out of your mouth as a man. No, thank you. No, and thank you. No, thank you.
All right, guys. God bless.
Yeah.
Wedlocked and loaded. Yeah. Wedlocked and loaded.
That's why you can't do it. Wedlocked and loaded.
Why'd you rush it through? Gotta take your time with it, baby.
That's what I tell you.
Oh my God.
Flag on the play.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
Wedlocked and loaded.
Wedlocked and loaded.